And then the New York Times complained that they had so many more sales. And all the advertisers who advertised in that paper for Monday just simply had a blank, because they aren't reading anything but their own little section, and it was all prearranged by the editor. That I know from experience, for my same Jack Butler, when they made a mistake in one of my ads once, he went down to investigate. So he went to the editor of the religious section, and she said he had to do something to pacify him, and she said, how would you like to see the editorial staff of the social section of our paper? Well, Jack was always out for fun. He said, I would love it. And it was just about 2 months before Easter. And all these ladies and their daughters were all around the place, dozens and dozens of them, waiting to be interviewed. Each was going to say exactly what we're going to wear. That's been ordered. The dress is all ordered and maybe already delivered. And the kind of a hat, and what church we attend, and where we're going to come out. And the cameras will be there to photograph it. And the morning paper will carry it as spontaneous. All spontaneous. And that's the dream world. A man just retired after very successful 30 years in the show business. His name is Sinatra. I recall this vividly when he was a young boy. I came out of my tailor on 48th Street, which was between 5th and Madison Avenue. I'm walking towards 5th. When I got to 5th, here is 3 dozen young girls, 16, 17. And here is a cab right in the middle of 5th Avenue. And here is this young lad. Well, he's 10 years my junior, so he was then, well, whatever it was then, when he got started. His foot on the runway, the cab stalled, traffic backed up, all the horns are honking, the cop is inquiring, and he is signing autographs to these 30 or more. All that was prearranged to block the traffic. So what? They'll give him a ticket. They give the cabbie a ticket. And he'll pay it. It'll cost him what? $50, $100? But the publicity, all that was part of the motion. He kept that going until now. And people think, what a big, wonderful man. That has been promoted from the time that he began to breathe as a young lad, as a singer. And it goes all through our entire dream world. And how do you go? Don't stop it. You can't stop it. It's part of the dream world. I am not telling you of the dream world. I am telling you of the world wherein you will awake. And when you awake, you'll be clothed in your immortal body. And that is heaven. Heaven is not a realm. It's not an area. Wherever you are clothed in your glorified body is heaven, because nothing remains imperfect in your presence. If you walk through the petrified forest, it would all burst into foliage. If you walk in the desert would blossom. Everything would become beautiful. And things long dead, or not even visible, will suddenly appear because you walk by. So wherever you go, clothed in your glorified body, which comes with your resurrection, makes every place that you go perfect. For wherever you are, things must be perfect. That's what we are celebrating this week. But they aren't telling it that way. They're telling of a little man who died a horrible death 2,000 years ago. And then they took him down from the tree and then put him in a tomb. But God raised him from the dead. You are the one spoken of, and you are still hanging on that tree in a way, for you are nailed upon this body. And the nails are vortices. 6 vortices. A vortex, a vortex, a vortex, a vortex, and both feet. And they are whirling vortices that nailed you here. And may I tell you from my own experience, it was sheer ecstasy. It wasn't painful. There was no pain whatsoever. Sheer ecstasy. And then oblivion. And that oblivion was a complete forgetfulness of the being that you are. And you are buried in your skull. And in that skull you dream the dream of life, as you're dreaming it now. And because it is a dream, if you know it's a dream, you can dream anything to be. If you know it's a dream. You can control the dream. So what would the feeling be like if it were true? Well, you name what it is you would like to be true. And naming it, you dream it just as though it were true. Remain faithful to your assumption. And that assumption of yours, though at the moment appears to be false and denied by your senses, if you persist in it, it will harden into fact. This is the story, and I am telling you what I know that I have experienced. I have experienced the Lord bringing things into being that I dare to assume because I wanted them to be brought into being. And the other, which is the fulfillment of God's promise. For I was that Abraham, so are you. And we were shown the gospel beforehand. We were given a preview of it. And we were told, you will go into a world that is not yours. And there you will be enslaved. And there you will be injured. And there you will be maltreated. But after 400 years, you will come out. Now the 400 is not 400 as you measure time. 400 is simply a symbolical number of a cross. It is a numerical number of the last letter of the Hebrew alphabet, which is the Toph. And Toph has the symbol of a cross. And this is the cross. So as long as I bear this, I am in the world of the furnaces. But I will come out of it. I will awaken within it, come out of it. And one day, soon after I awaken within it and come out of it, I will shed it. And shedding it, I will go back to the glory that was mine before that the world was. But enhanced by reason of wearing the cross in this world. Because no one can consummate this bliss that we saw before the world was, unless he is generated here in this world in flesh and blood. So I come down and I find myself wearing a garment woven in the womb of a woman. And I put on that garment and I'm nailed on it. And then I'm buried in that garment, but buried in the skull. And because I'm buried in the skull, I come out of the skull. And when I come out of that skull, still wearing the garment, for a little interval of time to tell and share it with my brothers, to encourage them to continue, no matter what happens, to continue. Dream nobly and realize the dreams, but dream nobly, because in the not distant future, you're going to awaken. And when you awaken, you're going to take off the little garment. And that is the cross that you wore for your journey, which is called in Scripture the 400 years. Really, it's thousands of years. You've been wearing it for thousands of years. For there is no death, really, only restoration.